Narcissism is a personality trait that thrives on self-importance, admiration, and power. A narcissist seeks constant validation, attention, and recognition from others, often without considering the needs or feelings of those around them. When narcissists are wounded, whether emotionally or egoistically, it can cause a dramatic and intense reaction. This response is often far more extreme than what one might expect from someone without such a self-centered outlook. So, in this video, we need to understand the dynamics of narcissism and how they react to being wounded. That is key to navigating relationships with them. At the core of narcissists' psyche is a fragile ego that demands protection at all costs. They present a facade of confidence, but beneath that is an insecurity they desperately attempt to hide. When their ego is wounded, whether through criticism, rejection, or even failure, they experience a deep sense of shame and inferiority. For many narcissists, this wound feels like a life-threatening blow, threatening their carefully constructed image of superiority. Narcissists often respond to emotional wounds with an array of defense mechanisms, including denial, projection, and deflection. They may refuse to acknowledge the hurt they are feeling, instead projecting it onto others, accusing them of being the ones who are flawed or unjust. This deflection serves as a way to avoid confronting their own feelings of inadequacy, keeping their fragile sense of self intact. One of the most common reactions of a wounded narcissist is a sudden outburst of rage or anger. When their ego is bruised, they may lash out at the source of their hurt, often with disproportionate intensity. Their anger is not just a reaction to the specific event, but a response to the threat posed to their entire sense of self. The more powerful the narcissist's need for validation, the more likely they are to react explosively when that need is unfulfilled or challenged. The term narcissistic injury is used to describe the emotional wound that a narcissist experiences when their sense of superiority or entitlement is threatened. This injury is often seen as a profound disruption of their self-image, leading to feelings of humiliation, shame, or deep emotional distress. Narcissists may struggle with the ability to cope with these feelings, often resorting to manipulative or hurtful behaviors to try and restore their sense of dominance. After a perceived wound, many narcissists employ the silent treatment as a form of punishment and control. They withdraw emotionally, refusing to engage with or communicate with the person who has hurt them. The silent treatment serves as a way to punish the other person and reaffirm the narcissist's power over them. This tactic also allows the narcissist to regain a sense of control, even if it means shutting down and ignoring others entirely. In some cases, narcissists use gaslighting as a means of deflecting responsibility for their actions or emotions. Gaslighting involves manipulating the reality of the situation to make the other person doubt their perceptions or feelings. If a narcissist feels wounded, they might try to convince the other person that they are the ones in the wrong, distorting facts to protect themselves from accountability and further emotional harm. Another strategy employed by narcissists when wounded is triangulation. This involves bringing a third party into the situation to bolster their side of the story and manipulate perceptions. A narcissist might pit people against each other or distort the truth to ensure they are seen as the victim, all the while deflecting any responsibility for their own actions or feelings. This manipulation helps them reclaim a sense of power and control over others. A narcissist requires a constant supply of admiration and validation to feel good about themselves. When their ego is wounded, this supply is cut off, leaving them feeling exposed and vulnerable. In order to heal their wounded self-image, they may go to great lengths to restore their narcissistic supply. This might involve seeking attention from new sources, belittling others to feel superior, or demanding validation from those around them. A wounded narcissist often seeks revenge as a means of regaining their lost sense of control. This revenge may not be overt or physical, but rather psychological or emotional. the narcissist will engage in tactics designed to cause the other person to feel the same pain they are experiencing. Their desire for revenge stems from an inability to tolerate feelings of powerlessness or vulnerability, as these emotions conflict with their self-image. One of the hallmark traits of narcissism is the inability to take responsibility for their actions. When wounded, the narcissist will often shift the blame onto others in an attempt to absolve themselves of guilt. They may accuse the person who hurt them of being selfish, insensitive, or cruel, even if the truth of the situation is more complex. This shifting of blame allows the narcissist to avoid confronting their own shortcomings or feelings of inadequacy. When wounded, many narcissists adopt a victim mentality. Instead of acknowledging their own behavior or emotions, they position themselves as innocent parties who have been wronged by others. By playing the victim, they seek sympathy and empathy from others while deflecting any accountability for their actions. This strategy helps them maintain control over the narrative and garner support from those around them. The narcissist's perception of others can fluctuate dramatically, especially when they feel wounded. In some cases, they may engage in the idealization-devaluation cycle. This involves placing someone on a pedestal, showering them with affection and admiration, and then quickly devaluing them when their ego is hurt. The devaluation is a direct result of the narcissist feeling betrayed or threatened by that person. The emotional instability makes it difficult for them to maintain balanced relationships. In some extreme cases, when a narcissist is severely wounded, they may experience what is known as narcissistic collapse. This is a psychological breakdown where the narcissist's self-image crumbles, leading to deep despair and depression. During this collapse, the narcissist may retreat into isolation, unable to cope with the pain of their shattered ego. This is often a temporary phase, but it can have a significant impact on their mental health. Many narcissists are terrified of being abandoned, and this fear can be triggered when they are emotionally wounded. To avoid this perceived abandonment, they may engage in controlling or manipulative behaviors to keep people around them. They may push others away as a preemptive measure, convinced that if they don't control the situation, they will be left alone. This fear of abandonment can lead to erratic or inconsistent behavior, as the narcissist struggles to maintain their sense of security. Being in a relationship with a narcissist often feels like a constant battle, especially when they feel wounded. Their emotional volatility and need for constant validation can create a toxic dynamic where you are forced to cater to their needs while also dealing with their unpredictable behavior. Narcissists may love bomb their partners one moment and then lash out the next, leaving you walking on eggshells, unsure of when their ego will be bruised again. Narcissists can go through cycles of wounding and reconciliation. After lashing out or punishing those who have hurt them, they may eventually soften and attempt to reestablish a connection. This often involves a period of charm and manipulation, where the narcissist seeks to regain favor and control. They may apologize insincerely, promise change, or act as if the issue is behind them, only for the cycle to repeat itself when their ego is threatened again. Wounding a narcissist can have long-term effects on both the individual and their relationships. Narcissists often hold grudges, and even minor slights can be remembered and used as ammunition in the future. Their inability to forgive or move past perceived injuries means that any wounding can result in long-term emotional fallout. Number one way of handling a jealous narcissist is to recognize the signs of jealousy in a narcissist. A jealous narcissist may not express their feelings of envy openly. Instead, they might resort to passive-aggressive tactics, belittling others, or undermining your achievements. It's important to stay alert to these behaviors and understand that the jealousy isn't personal but stems from their own deep insecurities and need for validation. To handle a jealous narcissist, you need to set strong boundaries. Because narcissists, they try to push others' limits to get what they want. When dealing with jealousy, it's important to establish clear boundaries. This means not allowing them to belittle you, to dismiss your achievements, or to make you feel guilty for things they perceive as threats. Firmly assert your boundaries without apology, even if they try to manipulate or guilt trip you. To handle a jealous narcissist, don't engage in their drama. Narcissists thrive on drama and conflict because it allows them to center attention on themselves. So if a narcissist becomes jealous and tries to stir up trouble, don't take the bait. Remaining calm and detached is the best way to deal with the situation. Engaging in their emotional games only feeds their need for validation and reinforces their behavior. To handle a jealous narcissist, avoid public displays of success. If you are aware that a narcissist is particularly jealous of your achievements, it might be wise to tone down your public displays of success when they are around. While you should never hide your accomplishments, doing so in a way that minimizes their need for validation can prevent triggering their jealousy. To handle a jealous narcissist, use empathy, but don't get caught in their web. Narcissists often lack true empathy, but can mimic it when it serves their interests. While you may feel tempted to comfort or understand a jealous narcissist, remember that their emotional needs are often insatiable and manipulative. Offering empathy might temporarily soothe the situation, but it can also reinforce their entitlement. Be aware of when to step back. To handle a jealous narcissist, avoid personalizing their jealousy. When a narcissist feels jealous, their behavior may become hostile, critical, or undermining. However, it's important not to take their actions personally. Their jealousy is a reflection of their insecurities and feelings of inadequacy, not a judgment of you. So, keeping this in mind can help you maintain emotional distance from the situation. To handle a jealous narcissist, remain emotionally detached. Narcissists feed off your emotional reactions. Whether it's anger, hurt, or frustration, they can use your emotions against you to gain control. So when dealing with a jealous narcissist, try to remain emotionally detached. Respond with calm, logic, and restraint instead of allowing them to provoke an emotional reaction from you. To handle a jealous narcissist, understand their need for control. A jealous narcissist may use jealousy as a means of control. They might attempt to manipulate your behavior, isolate you from others, or invalidate your successes to reduce your self-esteem. Recognize this behavior as a tactic to maintain power over you. By remaining independent and strong, you can reduce the effectiveness of their manipulations. The more you interact with a jealous narcissist, the more you risk feeding their toxic behavior. While it's not always possible to cut them off completely, especially if they are close to you, minimizing interaction when possible can protect your mental and emotional well-being. Less contact reduces the ability to manipulate and trigger their jealousy. So, to handle a jealous narcissist, don't feed their ego. Narcissists crave validation, and their jealousy may stem from a perceived threat to their superiority. So if you feed their ego, even unintentionally, you might exacerbate the jealousy and make the situation worse. So keep interactions neutral and avoid excessive praise or validation, as this can encourage them to escalate their behavior. To handle a jealous narcissist, stay confident in your own worth. A jealous narcissist will often try to diminish your confidence to feel superior. It's important to maintain a strong sense of self-worth and not let their jealousy undermine your confidence. Remind yourself that their behavior is about their own issues, not about you. To handle a jealous narcissist, don't try to change them. Narcissists rarely change unless they seek professional help, and even then it can be difficult. So if a narcissist is jealous, you may try to rationalize or offer understanding, but it's important to accept that their jealousy comes from deep-rooted personality issues that cannot easily be fixed. So focus on managing your reactions rather than attempting to change them. To handle a jealous narcissist, document your interactions. If you are dealing with a particularly toxic or abusive narcissist, documenting your interactions can help you stay grounded. Writing down your experiences can provide clarity and serve as a record if you ever need to seek professional help or take action to protect yourself from their behavior. Again, seek support from trusted people if you're handling a jealous narcissist, because dealing with a jealous narcissist can be so isolating because their behavior makes others question your reality. It's important to have a support system of people who understand narcissistic behavior and people who can offer perspective and emotional support when dealing with a jealous narcissist. Again, consider professional help. If you find yourself struggling to cope with the behavior of a jealous narcissist, especially in close relationships like family or a romantic partner, seeking professional therapy can be beneficial. A therapist can help you navigate the complexities of dealing with narcissistic behavior and offer coping strategies. Again, don't get sucked into their drama. When a narcissist feels jealous, they may create drama or draw attention away from your successes and back onto themselves. They might try to belittle you, stir up conflicts, or even play the victim. So don't engage in their drama. Recognize their tactics and avoid falling into their emotional traps. Again, to handle a jealous narcissist, stay consistent and predictable. Narcissists dislike unpredictability because it challenges their sense of control. By remaining inconsistent in your behavior, communication, and reactions, you reduce the chance of triggering the jealousy or anger. Predictability gives them fewer opportunities to manipulate or control the situation. Now, sometimes the best way to deal with a jealous narcissist is to simply walk away. If the situation becomes too toxic or abusive, it may be necessary to distance yourself completely. This can be especially important in relationships where the narcissist's jealousy is destructive to your well-being. Also, focus on self-care. Dealing with a jealous narcissist can take a toll on your mental and emotional health. Prioritize self-care by engaging in activities that bring you joy, relaxation, and peace. By nurturing yourself, you maintain the strength and resilience needed to handle difficult situations with the narcissist. Now, to handle a jealous narcissist, empower yourself. You need to empower yourself by recognizing your worth and standing up for yourself. Jealous narcissists will often attempt to undermine your confidence and sense of self. However, you have the right to exist, to succeed, and to be happy without their approval or permission. So stand firm in your identity and your boundaries, and don't let their jealousy define you. So in conclusion, managing a jealous narcissist requires a strong sense of self, emotional detachment, and clear boundaries. By recognizing their manipulative tactics and staying calm in the face of their jealousy, you can protect yourself from their harmful influence. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe.